Okay, folks. Good evening. Let's see where this will take us. Back hitting the Panzer III Fs, both of them that we've got. And there was a couple holes in here we decided to fill in. All right. Start off with, let's get some more wind in here. And we're going to need the water handy. I'm certain. I'm going to need a different brush here in a moment. This is only going to get us by till I touch up the spots that I have. All right, we're going to go with, let's get the German gray out here. Hopefully this is the right one. Yep. So I can't see back there. I didn't need that much, but so it goes. Luftwaffe blue, which I believe should be this one. Not sure what color it's supposed to be. Might be like the color of their helmets or something like that. Fallschirmjäger helmet color. And we're definitely going to need dark sand out here. Because one of the things that we need to do is we need to highlight some of these tanks so some of the details will pop. And I started doing a little bit of that the other day and wasn't able to finish it. And let's get the flow improver out. Should be able to drop just one drop of it all the way over here. Yep. All right, so let's take some of this color. Of course, this is just to make some of these things pop, because at the end of the day, we're going to end up dry brushing some dust and stuff on there, but if you don't do little things like this, these things aren't going to pop as much. Hey there, Nordic. Welcome back. And depending on how it goes tonight, we might do, if I tire of this, might do some video gaming, but I know I wanted to I want to do that chocolate brown on that Panzer 4F2 just to see what it looks like. It was a challenge. Yeah, this one we already did some of this stuff on it. Yeah. Okay, good. So for the early war Germans, I got a pair of these F2s, a pair of these Fs, Panzer III Fs with a 37. Unintentionally. I got them both kind of unintentionally. I have one Czech 38. I got a Panzer IIF, a Panzer, and two versions of a Panzer IIC, a Panzer I, a Panzer IIF, a Panzer IV F1, an F2, a G, a late G, an H, a J. Oh, I'm sorry, got ahead of myself. We're just talking about early stuff. The armored car. I got a 222 that's the old Airfix kit. I don't think it's going to be salvageable. It's not a very good anything. Fill in the blank, and it's not very good at it. It's not missing the ever-present grenade nets. It's just really rough. Really, really rough. So, although Joel did tell me about this place where he ordered some 15mm resin casts, and of course, they're in Britain, called Battlefield 3D, and they have an insane amount of unusual vehicles, including some I've never even heard of before. I'm not all-knowing, but if I don't know about it, it's a weird vehicle. Weird vehicles. So I'd like to get, at some point, 2 packs of the Plastic Soldier Company Panzer III Gs and Hs. They come 3 in a box in 20mm, and I'd get 2 boxes of them so I could make 3 Gs and 3 Hs. You won a 1989 hex encounter game called Hitler's Last Gamble Ardennes Offensive, brand new for stupid cheap. The game is the battalion scale is considered a monster-sized game. Oh, wow. Battle of the Bulge. That seems to be an unusually popular battle that people like to do. It seems to be pretty popular. I think one of the things going against it is the snow. It's just going to be really hard to do that. Do a Panzer yellow vehicle that has snow on it. It's going to be hard to pull off. Maybe I should try one just to see how hard it is. We'll do a good Soviet one first. We'll do some good Soviet snow things to get the hang of it before we decide to do a Dunkelgrau with the snow. That's kind of a tall order to get it to look right. Or at least for me to be happy with it. And I want to highlight on the top of this 700 counters, 2 maps. You're going to cut the counters on that? Been looking for a battalion scale game for the battle. Was looking through items from a cell I bought before and found that gem and said, why not? We played last night 1 turn of War Room. which is Richard. I think his name is it Larry Harris or Richard Harris? I think it's Larry Harris, who's the designer of Axis and Allies, and it was a lot of fun. We only played one turn, just kind of as a starter. Scott just got it recently, and he's the rules teacher. Everybody's like, who you want to play? And I'm like, let me play the Soviets. I've worked all day long, and I think I can figure that out. So, we didn't get very far in it, but it was just kind of a tester to see how everybody liked it. And I think pretty much everybody liked the game. I think it's a lot better than Axis and Allies. It's pretty deep. Even the combat is kind of deep. You got multiple options and stuff. Whitewash, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So let's say I wanted a white. Let me give you some food for thought, okay? So I've never done it, but I got more than a clue. So remember, these are war game miniatures. This is not IPMS stuff. So there's one thing that I refuse to do. And you'll even see pictures of real vehicles that'll actually break this. And that is, do any light color that is going to be like really wet. Because what's going to happen is it's going to go in all the crevices, which is stuff that you avoid specifically to do. Now, I did see a picture of something on eBay that was a Dunkelgelb vehicle in the snow. It was a Stug, and I don't remember if it was a Stug 3 or a Stug 4 with the L48 gun in it, and it was extremely well done. It was extremely well done. It was messy and at the same time very crisp with the panel lines and everything. And I'll find it here in a second and see what you think about it. But if I was going to paint my first attempt to do a whitewash, and I shouldn't say that because I actually had a GHQ Panzer 3J with the long barrel. To me, the J always has the long barrel, just like the F always has the 50 millimeter. I know some early ones didn't. When I think of Panzer 3J, it's got the L60 in it. So it's a GHQ Panzer 3J with the L60. I had one of them that I painted up as the command one, and I actually put the crooked spider flag painted on the thing, and it was a whitewash vehicle. And I kept it for a long time, and I thought it looked really, really good. But, you know, it was really small. But if I have to do whitewash, I would probably do it in some form of dry brushing so that you still have some of the core color. It's just really weird because you have to do something counterintuitive to my painting style. If I wanted to put a Panzer III with these stripes, and you've seen them like in 41, they'll have like these big stripe patterns, almost like it'll have like a big chunk here and then another chunk here. What you end up having to do is paint gray the edges where it gets scuffed. But I think I still would probably apply it dry brush-ish and then somehow have to scuff the corners. I don't know, it's going to be a tall order, but I think I'm going to try one of them because it's a challenge, you know? Going to have several people playing Global Axis and Allies, which combines Europe and Asian boards in one giant game. A few times it's fun. Axis and Allies is, I think, a good two-player game. You add more people, and it just takes forever for your turn to go around. And there's not much to think about. This game that we played yesterday, the War Room, it was entertaining just to see what happened. Because we were all kind of learning how the combat worked and stuff. It has some really cool things. The coolest thing it has about it is you have to write your orders ahead of time what you're going to do, and you have a limited amount of orders. And it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But the combat is only one round. So if they don't eliminate each other, they stay in the same space. But what makes a game suck, in my opinion, is if you're bored. Like, man, I don't want to be here. Like, you know, when's it my turn to leave? You know, if you're thinking about that, then assuming you're not someone who's like that all the time, because then there's no cure for you. That's just not a fun game. But again, it'd be nice if it was a computer game, because then we could just click a button and everything would be set up. You know, you're not wasting your time setting it up and picking up the board. Which, you know, for a game that's going to take a long time, you want to be efficient. But it's a good looking game. There's lots of stuff to think about. Yeah. So we'll play again. I hope. It's one of those you got to play on a Saturday. Okay, I hate doing something, but I'm going to have to do it. This is drying out too fast. I just don't like how big this effing thing is. And this should work. Hopefully we got some ground space. Good. No smell of water. It cured that. All right, let's put this here. And let's put the dark sand here. There we go. All right. Back when hobby store was mostly historical gears, fun. Yep. What's a hobby store? Those things are about gone. If you still have one of those around you, you're one of the lucky few. We actually have a place here in town that has a really nice playing area, but it's not, even remotely geared towards war games or anything historical. It's basically like a comic book place. Let's go to the, we'll set the turret up here so we got something for it to sit on. I heard some people had gotten snow the last couple days, like lucky bastards. I think our high is supposed to be 67 tomorrow, which I hope it's true. All right, let's drop a line on this hatch. Now, I actually like the look at a top hatch of a Panzer III. Let's see. Let's see, Panzer III F top down. Here it is. Okay, so we got that, and then we got some other things here. What are they? Like candles or something. All right. Well, I went about this completely wrong. I needed to use black for this. Something more precise than this. There we go. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I'm doing it now. Okay, we might as well do the other one at the same time. Okay, and then we got something looks like a couple other hatches or something like that. Or part of the hinge. Okay, that's probably, we don't need this screen anymore. Did I get my comment asking about the Southern Florida Miniature Gaming Club? No. Where did you send it? No. Southern Florida Miniature Gaming Club. There is one down there that I just found about recently, but it's like 4 or 5 hours away. Over in the crazy part of Florida. If you're talking about the one that's out in Fort Lauderdale area. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. And I don't block people's comments. So I don't know, maybe you weren't holding your mouth right when I got them. Man, I think that looks pretty freaking good. Typical, you guys can't, it looks like shit on yours. There's not enough light. Yeah, that's not a bad. You guys are playing games, you know, once a month or every couple of weeks or whatever. Let's see if any of your local players come to a show, and none of them showed up. So, you know. I'm tired. I'm tired of organizing everything, and people, I don't want to drive, you know, whatever. I don't want to do anything. Well, you know what? I've been doing stuff for a long time, and I'm tired of it too. And I'm tired of, you know, of doing all the work, and I'm not going to say nobody's appreciative, because that's not true, but, you know, other than a local group. You know, like we had our local con that was in Tampa. Tampa's where it was being held. And the hotel where it was being held at was a shithole. But it was the home of it. Well, in 2006, it had to move to get redoing the complete hotel. Okay? Had to completely be redone. And it was going to move to Orlando. And these guys that were in Tampa, for years, they never spent a night in a hotel. And they couldn't be bothered to drive an hour to Orlando twice a year. They wanted to just not stay in a hotel. And that's just how some people are. They're either selfish or, you know, whatever. Meanwhile, the rest of us always have to travel to a convention because you're not going to have one here in town. So I get it. People don't want to travel far. Well, I don't need to be punished by, you know, traveling all the time and organizing everything and reminding everybody where there's the con and when's it coming and, you know. And on top of everything, you got a rule system that has issues that can never be solved because they're not my rule system. You know, I'm not writing an unofficial guide for somebody else's rules. You know, so it's time to do something else for a while. I'll still build DBA 3.0 armies for our future projects. I'm just taking a break from all the rest of the year for sure. And I don't have anything bad to say, you know, not like the other rule sets that have cropped up, and they won't even mention DBA by name, like it's, you know, like they're Nazis or something like that. They can't mention the name of DBA. I've got nothing bad to say about it. I'm just tired of being, you know, of being tortured. So, you know, Historicon was the nail in the coffin, I think, because it's like, I'm doing all this shit and posting the stuff and reminding people how to do it, and then nobody wants to even show up and play the game. That's fine. Then I don't need to do all the videos and post the results in a bunch of different places because somebody's like, oh, do you post the results? Well, it's on the Facebook page. Well, I don't do Facebook. Well, then you fucking miss out, you know? It just got old. Just got real old. So let somebody else do it. See how that works out for them. I'll spend all that energy on working on something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've said it before. I'd just go to the show and just hang out. I don't need to play games. Oh, this is going to look pretty good. No one rule set has everything I'm looking for in a set of rules, so make your own. Make your own. It just got really old, like nobody doing anything, and people kept wanting me to do more. I'm like, how about you do something, you know? And there's nothing out there that I'm going to switch to. It's not like, oh, I'm going to play Art de la Guerre. Everybody's playing Art de la Guerre. F that. Another rule set that they won't even mention DBA. It's obviously stolen from Phil Barker's work. A lot of it. And they won't even mention his name as inspiration or nothing. It's just freaking... And they charge for it. It's just freaking dishonest. You know? I mean, ultimately, that's not why I'm not playing it. But, you know, I do those World War II rules. So I start playing it, and this doesn't make sense. You know, these rules are out of print. Perfect. You know, I'm just doing it for us. You know, I'm just really doing it so that I have a reason to paint these things. Because that's my personality anyways. You know, you like something that I don't like, go right ahead. But don't tell me how I have to do something. I don't get in other people's business. No. Yeah. One thing I'm never going to play, there's a couple things I'm never doing again. I don't really want to play another tournament game. And I haven't had that experience with tournaments. It's just not my interest. I don't need to win more shit, you know? Whatever. I'd rather play a game where I could talk out loud what I'm doing and, you know, I don't care about winning, you know? I don't want to play another game with stupid conforming. It's too abstract. I'm done playing abstract games. They just don't make any sense to me. My brain's not programmed that way, you know? They leave you feeling like you're handicapped when you just don't, you know, you don't think that way. You don't feel right when you're done, so. Field of Glory. Well, you'd be the one guy playing Field of Glory. Zit died fast. I'm not sure why, but I think the computer game's pretty decent. It's not perfect. There's a lot of things it does better than DVA. There's a lot of things it doesn't do as good. I've played about 100 games of that, probably. Entered several tournaments. I don't want to play tournaments with people I'm not even going to interact with face to face. You know? They could rage quit or whatever reason. There's no honor in it. And you know, honestly, it was the DBA that actually bugged me more was that I did all this work and then people couldn't be bothered to show up. It wasn't that I needed help doing some of it. It's like, I've got it, because people are just involved in too many things. Some people go and play, you know, they got to see a soccer game or they got to go to a movie or something like that. I'm like, look, the convention's only 2 times a fucking year, you know. I get it if you've got like a family emergency, but if you got too many hobbies, you know, just got old. It just got old. And the other reason for announcing I'm not doing it anymore, because that way I can't weasel out of it. Now I've said I'm not going to do it, and I'm sure as hell not going to fucking do it, because then it, you know, then I say I do one thing and do something else. So. And I stand by I will use my armies for something else, whatever the hell that is. That's just not my complete focus at this moment. That's nice. Oh, we don't need to do that. We don't need to use that there. The reason I don't like tournaments is because there's too many people that only want to play a certain way. You know, just like if they were like Warhammer players, or if they were, let's say, if they were, what do you call that game? Flames of War. I only play Elite SS Panzer Grenadiers with super German tanks. fuck you. You're not going to play all kinds of different stuff. I mean, you know. So you experience it. No, I only play these. I only play these super weapons. I don't play the other stuff. I'm like, you're just missing out, man. And I haven't really had very many bad tournament experiences in over 2,500 games. Maybe, maybe 3 people. 2 definitely, and one of them's dead. So he won't be causing that problem again. And one of them, I think, quit gaming. New stores do miniatures, but see the most Game Workshop. You know, let's look at Games Workshop miniatures, but their games suck. You know, they don't support their own games. I mean, I get it; it's a business decision, but I don't have to agree with that. let's see how we're looking here with just that stuff popped that we have on there. And of course, you gloss coat it and it looks something different. Let's put one next to it that doesn't have the highlighting on it. It's hard to see it. The light is just so weird, but you get the point. I'll be right back. Better luck trying to get a grenade with a pin pulled out. It's a great game, but I'm tired of having to explain it to everybody. I understand why people don't get it. Being on the front lines of getting people to comprehend it, I'm just tired of it. So, anyhow, it's also very hard to play that if you're trying to come up with something else. But there's no timetable for it, you know? It may never happen. It may be in 5 years. It may be in 2 years. I can't continue playing an old system and make something new. Oh yeah, that would be free. And it has no army list, so you still got to buy 3.0 for the army list. But there's a couple things that just really don't work with certain things. It doesn't work to have something where it's like, oh, I got to publish this and I got to make it quick and there's a timeline, because as soon as you publish it's out of date. You're going to have to come up with an errata. It's just a pain in the ass when you have a set of rules. Well, here's the rules, but then don't use this part because it's actually been superseded by an addendum, and then there's an errata, but then there's also a codex. F that. It needs to be one document, okay? You make one document, it's free, you post it somewhere, You know, and as soon as you make a change, you take the old one down. It's not available anymore. If you like to play an earlier version of the rules, tough titty, it's not available anymore. There's only one because you end up spending a lot of time and effort on just trying to get everybody on the same page, you know? So you have to admit, I think WRG rules were better than... Oh, shit. Maybe I should follow Tony's played thousands of times now. Doesn't like it. I've never played once. Never played what? You've never played DBA once? There's problems with it explaining it to people more than anything else. And it's just so damn abstract. But it's mainly it's a good game. But there's no reason to build a Mongol army. You're not going to come out feeling like you played Mongols. You know, I'm not saying it should be superhuman, but you just feel you should be playing, when you're done playing the Mongols, you played the Mongols that play different than, you know, a different army. My main reason for playing is I'm tired of organizing everything, doing all the legwork for somebody else's set of rules that are written in a way that it's impossible for new people to find how to play the game correctly. And I'm tired of beating my head into the wall. You know? And if I'm going to do something, the time's right to do it now. The longer I wait, the more senile I'm going to be. So. And I have zero timetable on it. I may not get to do it. Whatever. At least I'm stopped being tortured by, you know, what's been going on in the last 3 or 4 years. Just joining. Is this Flames of War? Oh, heck no. Oh, the vehicles? Now, this is 20 mil. You're welcome to do Flames of War, but no. No, these rules have been out of print. I don't know how long they've been out of print. But I haven't played World War II in 20 years. Maybe there'll be so much fun. I'll make videos and I'll put the rules back in print. I'm really happy with the infantry rules, but you know, I'm not going to run this as a tournament or nothing at shows. I may not even run it at shows. I don't want unknown people touching my shit and breaking it. You know who you are. No, not everybody's that way. The face of battle. But I've never played vehicles in them. I've read the rules. I know how it goes. I've never played vehicles. So if something doesn't make sense, you just change them, you know? But I'm going to play them like a role-playing game in that everybody's going to be on one side. All the players are going to be on one side. Just for ease. But I need to get somewhat to a level of familiarity I am with, you know, say like DBA or something like that, so it'll run smooth. But it's multifaceted, but it's not abstract like DBA. It's not abstract at all. And that's the shit I can comprehend. I comprehend non-abstract stuff really well because it makes sense to me. That's how I'm programmed. Okay, I'm going to say less is more, and we're going to leave this guy like this for the time being and see if we can bring, of course, there's no weathering on here yet. and see if we can bring the other one up to a similar level. Right, let's use the bigger one. Doing Flames Road, building a big SS division and armor division. I've never painted SS. I would do it now as a challenge to do the uniforms, but I'm not super fond of those guys. You can have fun with Germans without doing SS. I didn't do it in the past. I was scared of the uniforms. I actually may have had some SS guys in 6mm that I tried painting them. Their smocks a different color. I don't remember. That was so long ago, but actually we need to do some lower touching up on the lower part, but just trying to get some of this stuff to pop. I'm not particularly worried about touching it and scuffing up. Any part that I'm going to be touching, I'm going to end up scuffing up with dirt anyways, so honestly I would have put it on one of those pegs or corks or whatever, but the middle's just hollow, so it's going to be hard to get that to grab. I just like, F it. It'd be alright. Then Roll the Tanks take over Flames of War. I tried playing World of Tanks the other day, and I hadn't played it in so long, they changed it completely. I actually like War Thunder better, because when you put a hit, there's like a little zoom in that shows what happens to your crew and stuff. But I have the patience for this. I don't have the patience to play some grindy game. You know, where it's like, I don't really want to play this vehicle, but I got to keep grinding so that I can unlock something else. And I hate that, you get your ass beat by, say, a Panther all the time, and you finally, in Roll the Tanks, finally scour to the point where you get a Panther. And I don't believe in spending real money. You can if you want, but, I feel like you got to earn this stuff. I get a Panther. As soon as I get a Panther, I'm like, cool, let's take this into battle. So I take it into battle, and what am I facing? Not T-34s or T-34-85s or even JS2s. I'm fighting like T-29s and T-32s, experimental, like U.S. extremely heavy vehicles, so much so that the 75mm gun, the L-70, can't penetrate them. I'm like, well, why did I even bother grinding and getting this vehicle that is now worse than tier 1 stuff? So, hey, you play that a little bit and then you're like, Let me go back to painting. People playing were too caught up in the super tanks, late war, and no one wanted to play unless they had access to that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you got to play the shitty stuff so you can appreciate the good stuff. There's actually quite a few scenarios on a set of rules called Rapid Fire, and there's a lot of free scenarios on their website. It's a 1 to 5 scale game, which I prefer skirmish, but if I have to do something that's not skirmish, I'm used to 1 to 5. Playing enough command decision, growing up, I can look at 3 tanks and go, okay, there's a company. It's, or 10, it's a battalion, or regiment if you're British, kind of thing. It's I understand that really well. I process it really well. It makes sense to me. But Rapid Fire is the same scale, and there's a lot of scenarios in there, and they don't have super. There's a couple scenarios I was looking at. It was like the Canadians attacking the airfield outside of Caen. What is it, Carpiquet? And the Canadians have like 12 or 16 vehicles, tanks, and every third one's a Firefly. The other ones are Shermans. And the SS guys have like a couple Pac 40s and a couple Mark 4s. They had super tanks, but they weren't everywhere. They're like a super target. Yeah, Carpiquet. It's that airfield that was defended by the 12th SS Hitlerjugend. Problem I had with Panther was that even though the round penetrated it, did little damage. Panthers, Pumas, half-tracks, Sturm, Tiger, Panzer were for half-tracks, ground forces. Here I am getting excited to play the Polish campaign, Winter War, and France 40. No super tanks, unless you consider Sharby. There you go. Yeah, I don't really care for the damage modeling in World of Tanks. Now, I did have some fun playing, like a Hellcat, Hetzer. But just, there's some maps I never want to see again, ever. Himmelsdorf. God, I hate that map. Like, where's the infantry? "15 Stugs." Yeah, they were common. Well, if you saw a vehicle, if you saw a German vehicle that had a gun on it, that had a cannon on it, odds are it was a Stug. And he looked pretty good. Especially on the Western Front. Stugs are plenty good to deal with just about everything on the Western Front. You go to the Eastern Front, yeah, they're not going to deal too well with JS2s. No, that's going to be wooden. That's going to be wooden. I'm gonna have to manufacture something there to get the radio to come out of. Oh, I guess. Let's do poor man's painting of the jack. There's a company I found today called Battlefield 3D, and they do all kinds of 3D printed stuff. Of course, they're in the UK. Why would they be anywhere else other than in the UK? They're in the UK, and they make all kinds of unusual vehicles, including some I've never even heard of. And I'm not talking about like a Diana, you know. I'm talking about, you know, like weird stuff. Really, really weird stuff. It's 6:30. Where'd the day go? Down the toilet. That's how I felt Saturday. Saturday just flew by. You guys enjoy that video I did on Saturday? You solved my dilemma of war period to war II. The 10mm. I'm going to go with Poland 39, France 40, Winter War, Barbarossa. One thing they have in common is the German uniforms are the same. Yep. I like that, the stone gray pants. Do I still have that Osprey book on France 1940? That was like one of the first books that they came out with for the campaign. I can't imagine getting rid of it. Who the hell would want it? Maybe I got rid of it. Wow, I would have gotten rid of it a long time ago. It's not down there, is it? Let's see. Nope, I still have it. What's it doing down here? Shit, I didn't even know I had. I don't have that much stuff. I've just been at this for a while. Yeah, it's actually Campaign Series 3. France 1940. Yeah. U.S. Camouflage and Markings. I didn't know I had this. Too late, I already painted my Shermans. Yuta and what the hell? I've never seen this shit before. Yeah, I wanted to do some of the Second Armor Division stuff that was in this paint scheme here. The problem is they didn't have stars on them because it defeat the whole purpose of that camouflage. Here's that uniform. I'll show you here. There's a German trooper here. Oh, look at the cute Panzer one. Where's the German trooper that has the stone gray pants and like the green tunic? Here it is. Yeah. I have some guys that are like that. They have a green tunic that's pretty happy green, and then the pants are like a stone gray tunic. This guy right here. Worth is his name. I ordered 100 of these heavy-duty magnet bottoms the other day so we can magnetize all these guys. Excuse the semi-gloss finish, but that's how we used to finish them back in the 90s. Oh, the lighting in here is going to suck. Pretty sure I painted this guy with Games Workshop paints. Ah, he looks like crap. The lighting's just not right. I mean, he looks like crap in the lighting. No, he actually looks freaking great. Well, it's time to rebase all those guys so they look more modern. Panzer Company, I ran with Panzer 4H's, Panthers, a couple Tigers. Yeah, he does look good. You just got to believe me. You can't. The lighting is just not good on video. Let's see. What if I put him down here? I can't get close enough to him. Let's see. How about we do this? And let's zoom in. And then let's prop him up. See, I need him like this, so the prop up needs to be over here. Oh, no, I can't see him because it's behind this thing. Looks blurry on my screen. He's got like 7 or 8 shades of flesh tone built up. And same thing with the rifle. One thing, artistic decision I made is their gas mask canister, which is this round thing back here. I always paint mine black. I don't like them when they're like field gray or something like that. I've always made that decision. It's just they're always black. But yeah, I like this combination. Anyhow, you'll see when we start gaming this stuff. You'll see. Say two. I turn my head to see. Gonna repaint the infantry I had painted back in the day. I'm not. I'm doing their basing. I wouldn't paint him any better now. His head's small or hands big? They're heroic a little bit. Hands are big. I don't know. Your hand covers your whole face. Maybe the hands are a little big. It's so difficult to turn it the right way when you're not. There we go. $20 mil, baby. This is my hero sculptor, Dave Alsop. I didn't know Panzer Lair had like different uniforms and shit. They had like almost like jumpers or something like that. They had like different uniforms for their some of their infantry. Almost like remember like a Sturm artillery had like a combination between like a Panzer uniform, but it was like in field gray type colors. I think they had something like that. There's one company I think that even makes them, that makes Panzer, maybe AB, that makes Panzer Lair guys. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen that many pictures of them. I'm not a fan of the short boots. I like my Germans in the freaking jack boots. That doesn't mean I won't paint them. My preference is them having jack boots. You know, than these little guys. Yeah, you can't see them. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Where we were. Crap, now I gotta go to them. Now I gotta go piddle. Right back. I think my interest in early war primary to everything being Panzer gray. Yeah. I like 42. I like Wintergewitter a lot. That's what we'll try with the snow camo. Oh, I said I was going to show you a picture of that snow camo done right. Let me do that since I haven't started back up again. Let's see if I can find this. It's a picture on eBay. I just got to remember what the hell I searched for. Oh, here it is. Man, this thing looks awesome. And this is what I was talking about. If you're gonna whitewash stuff, you gotta add some black lining or something to get it to pop. It's got a crooked spider flag on the roof. Doesn't bother me any, but let's save this. Now, let's add it onto the screen. Let's add, see what image comes up here. Okay, this is an old image I have of these snow ones. All right, let me see if I can find this. What the hell happened? Yeah. I hate using the pad on a. There we go. Okay, and now I should be able to look at that. Look at that snow camo. Let's make it bigger. So see, he had some kind of like a yellow base and then almost did like a whitewash, but then he went and did like the black lining and stuff, because if you don't do that, the whitewash ends up getting into the crevices, and then it just looks like blah, and it may look like real vehicles, There's real vehicles that look like that, and they don't look right, you know? I don't hate Warhammer paints. I don't love AK paints. They're too watery. That doesn't mean that I can't make them work. I just, you know. Yeah, looks good, right? All right, let's put it away before the crooked spider people get upset. I'm sensitive to that. I get it. But I'm not promoting those Nazi bastards. You guys know that. I used to use Poly-S back in the day. Poly-S was great when it came out. My only gripe with Vallejo is they changed their colors. And some colors just kind of suck. The old Warhammer paints, back when I painted my guys, those were good. And I still have some of them. Crooked Spider people. Yeah, The Sound of Music, the little girl that says, talks about the Nazis. Said, but the people with a crooked spider. Well, perfect. The crooked spider people. But I will do a snow one. More than likely it'll be a Panzer IIIL. Because I got 5 of them. And I'm willing to give it a shot. And I bet I'll knock it out of the park. But it's going to take some work. But that's okay. Craft paints. Craft paints work okay too. I'll use craft paints to paint my backdrops. All those backdrops I've done are all with craft paints. I need to make more of those. I need one in Normandy. I need a Normandy looking one. What else we got a force? This is what I like to call force in the shadows here. Making the edges of hatches and such pop. Erica song for the spider people. Lost me on that one. It's the crooked spider people. You gotta put crooked in there. The crooked spider. Oh. I may do one of those air recognition flags for a vehicle. I may. It's not necessary. I used AK paints for my Dunkelgelb vehicle, and I've got those colors. I'll continue using them. But when I did the first base color, I actually used the Vallejo because I needed it to be a little bit less watery. But it was just that base color that ends up getting covered up anyways. And I'm fairly happy with it. I gotta do a 3-color one to see how, if I really am happy with it, but it actually looks pretty good. It just doesn't look good in this light. It looks good in natural light because it's like I added all these little like depth of the colors, but you take a look at it here, it looks just like blah, like I just dry brushed it like one color, and you know, Erica is a World War II German song. I can't tell you that I got a single. Oh, you know what I got a mark for the other day? I was playing that Drive on Moscow, right? And I got a copyright thing because there's the Lily Marlene song that's in the video game, and it plays it, and like YouTube didn't like that. So if I have to play Drive on Moscow, I'm just turning all the effing music off. Just ridiculous. Like, you know, who the hell can copyright anyways? They're probably freaking dead. And probably a Nazi. No royalties for you, Nazi. You got to play what people play. I mean, if people played Flames of War and I want to do historical, I guess I'd play Flames of War, but I don't like looking at the board where you see like these Napoleonic lines of like Panzers, you know. It's just a little too wooden for me. But nobody around here plays that, so. And I didn't grow up with 15 millimeters for vehicles. I got into this scale because of the figures. And at the time, in the 90s and before, you wanted vehicles, you wanted to do them 1/72nd or 1/76th. That's where your variety was. And that's also probably why the estate sale, nobody wanted those vehicles that I bought because they're in a scale that rarely anybody plays this. They play this scale in England, but they used to do it here too. They just found other options. Doesn't matter to me. I'm supplying everything for everybody in the game anyway, so. YouTube can be just as petty as Games Workshop. Who the hell is the copyright holder of Lily Marlene anyways? It's in a freaking game, for God's sakes. I didn't put it in there. We're Sin the guy. Don't know that one. I don't know the words to any of them. Actually, the only ones I know are Panzer and the one that's at the beginning of Cross of Iron, the movie. That one's really memorable. I haven't heard that one in 30 years, and Ancient Rome. No more Ancient Rome for me for a while. When I think of Romans, I think of the Republic. I don't think of the impies. That's the first thing I think of. Well, you know, if I'm not playing Ancients, the good news is I don't have to keep bringing up that Hannibal was a better general than Alexander all the time. Knew that was going to resurface. I rebought a book over the weekend that I had gotten a copy of it, but it had underlining in it, and I can't stand people writing books. It drives me crazy. And I picked up another copy of it and gave my old one to Joe. And it's this. These books are really good. I've got one on the, for $10 frickin'. I mean, it was used, but not really. So these are good. I've got this one, I've got the Roman Emperor one, and I got the Chinese Emperor one. So some places that bookstore were some things were a steal, and other things were just too expensive. So it was a combination between things. I don't know if I showed you guys this other thing that I picked up. I may not have done it. Just something completely different. Not a period I'm particularly interested in. What brand of paintbrushes do I have? All kinds. Leftover Chinese ones I don't buy anymore. Royal Majestic. I tend to not buy expensive ones because they wear out. I want to take care of them, but you know, shit goes sideways. But I don't want to buy Chinese brushes if I can get away with it. I have no problem with Chinese. First, it started with, you know, I'm not buying any at Walmart. I used to buy them all at Walmart to get those plaid brushes. You get freaking 10 brushes for like less than $4. But Walmart pulled a stunt a few years ago, and I haven't been in Walmart since. They can burn to the ground. I would never go into Walmart. I mean, it's broken down in the middle of nowhere, and I need to go to a Walmart, sure, but. And I'd rather not buy Chinese brushes. So. I found a couple of places that have them that aren't Chinese, but they're hard to find on and yeah, they cost more on Amazon. They cost more, but they're not any better quality. I just don't want to give them any money. You know. I was going to buy a Winsor & Newton brush at Historicon. Nobody was selling them. I'm not going to buy a $10 or plus brush sight unseen over the internet. Because every brush is different. I'll literally look at the pack and go, okay, all those will end up shaping okay. Walmart sucks. That's right. Yep. I'd buy Chinese brushes before I'd set foot in a Walmart. No doubt. If I gotta choose between the two, yep. And you know, if people have to shop there, okay, they have to shop there, but at least I have a choice, so I'm not going to go there if I don't have to. But I've never bought expensive brushes. As long as you're not buying the Testors brushes, like the ones we had when we were kids, that were just all nylon, they're just a piece of shit, you'll be alright. Most brushes are okay. Most brushes are alright. What part of the world you live in, Justin? Or dare I say, what part of the U.S. do you live in? Because based on the time... Oh, did this jack just fall again? Break again? You little bastard. Well, I'm not fixing you right now. You have to wait your turn. We're in painting mode. Nice. Put that little edge on there. This has actually worked okay. Layering only the details, not layering the whole thing. I have done a vehicle where I layer the whole thing. I don't have 40 hours to do a vehicle. My Firefly is done that way. And it's not that noticeable because I didn't do enough contrast on the layering thing. So let's do the turret. Horsehair brushes. Yeah, they do if I can find them. Yeah. I used super glue because it was small, and super glue ain't worth a shit. Northern Michigan, the tip of the small town, one store, gas station, one church, abandoned auto shop, very small post office. Got a guy that comes on here frequently. He's from Michigan. I think he's from Michigan. Oh, I think I took some of the. I think I took this one off. That's what it was. All right, let's put some edges on here. I tell you what I do like about Flames of War a lot. Their website. They have some great articles. They really do. Like British squadron markings and shit like that. I mean, they have some really good stuff on there. Some of their terrain color suggestions for basing and stuff. I use them. The colors I use for the basing are right lifted off of the Flames of War site. They might actually have too many articles because sometimes it's hard to find it, but you get a lot of free shit there, you know. Pennsylvania Stan. Yeah, offer still stands. I'm still going to punch somebody in the nose, the first person that complains around here that it's too cold. It's supposed to be a high of 67 tomorrow. We'll see. The worst thing about where I live is the weather. The best thing is also the weather. Damn bugs. I want a game in a cold basement. Not a hot shed, a cold basement. -7. I can't deal with the dryness of the cold and gray skies. Gray skies just bring me down. So it'll get down to 17. We might even have a 16 day here in northern Florida. But when it is, it's like the most beautiful day in the world. And I want to be outside in that weather. You know, it's humid, so it penetrates you, but you just put on clothes. It's not that big a deal. what what was up that they had like these little hash marks across the top of it. Silly Nazis designing tanks like this. So I'd love to put division markings on this, guys, but I'm not going to. We're going to leave that alone. Even though these are basically only useful for me, I'm not doing France, so they're only useful for, you know, the first couple of months of Barbarossa. After that, you know, they don't have any of these left over with 37mm guns. Let's hope not, for their sake. We had so much snow, was trapped for 2 days live, and no plow zone. How cold do I want it to be? Oh, you want me to say that thing I like to say? I need to live in a place where you got to shove ice cubes up your ass to stay warm. I love the cold weather. I do. I really, really do. I love wearing long sleeves. I love my feet cold. I mean, I never drink hot coffee, ever. My coffee's cold, always. I love cold weather. But I don't like dryness. So, like, when I've gone to Colorado, it was 18 degrees when we were up there. It was, like, in late March. We went for spring break one year. It was, you know, it gets that temperature here, but it's dry, so it's actually not that cold. And, man, they had to run the heater everywhere. And the heater should just be... I hate the heater. I hate the heater. I don't mind bundling up. I love wearing long sleeves, jacket. None of that stuff bothers me. I just hate sitting around sweating for no reason. It drives me crazy. No gamer should like hot weather. We're all overweight, right? But as much as and I think snow's magical. It's like another planet. But I don't want another version of Mother Nature on the rag. And I just see that being that way. Like, okay, not only do you have to mow your lawn, now you have to rake. I don't rake shit. These are painting hands, okay? We don't need to rake shit here. I'm still scarred from being a kid. We had a huge oak tree. And I had to put all the leaves in a bag. And there were these tiny little shitty-ass freaking leaves like this. 103 bags. I'm still scarred from it. I'm still scarred from it. I went to Colorado and I'd never been in snow, and I had to drive in it. It was actually a piece of cake, except for other people, because I play driving games. So I figured real quick, you just have to plan ahead. Like, okay, well, we're gonna turn in about a mile. We're gonna make a right-hand turn. Okay, so start slowing down, not at the last frickin' minute, you know. But you know, people would be passing me going faster than the speed limit. Car fishtailing. If your car's fishtailing, you're doing something wrong. Okay, that's not how you know. You can't crash fast enough to win. It's our old racing saying that we used to play racing games. You can't crash fast enough to win. Got to slow down for the turns. we got to force the shadows on some of these things to get them to pop. Here paints Tony, the legend known across the country, including in the chilly Midwest. There must be not anything to do. Where do I buy my models from? I haven't bought any in a long time. These actually, one of these I've had for about 20 years from Brookhurst Hobbies. That's where we used to get them from. And the other one was from an estate sale, a Wargamers estate sale they had recently, which, you know, it's a shame somebody had to pass away, but one of these I redid. Which one is it? This one. Yeah. And I didn't have either hatch, so I had to make a hatch and put a fake split in there. I think it looks pretty good. This actually, top of this hatch is totally flat. And yeah, added that fake little line in there to make it look three-dimensional. You know, they're plain pieces. I'm not going to enter an IPMS thing with it, you know. You like that? There's nothing to do out there? Flyover country, isn't that what they call it? I think where you live, I think the state you live is what I thought Colorado would be more like. Because before I ever went to Colorado, I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be like red meat, potatoes, and there'll be steak everywhere. There's nothing in Colorado except pot and hippies. Well, there's mountains too. All right. put... You want to see my AK thing? My thing that I did with AK paints? I bought them. I think their little package, I was like, man, if I could get them looking like that, I'm really happy with it. I'll be honest with you. The package sold me on it. I was disappointed when I got them. And not because they were thin, because I knew they were going to be thin. This package is beautiful. Whoever painted this, there's, you know, that's like awesome. But because the colors actually don't match these. And I wanted them to. You know, like this dark color actually, the darkest shade of the Dunkelgelb actually looks more like this. And then the mid one looks like this. And then the top one looks like white. But I think it turned out okay. I think it turned out okay because I tinkered with it. You guys probably won't see any of the color variations on it. I didn't use a wet palette with AK. Because pot and hashish are illegal now. I'm fine with it being legal. I've seen people on it and they just don't want to do anything other than do that stuff. I think everything should be legal as long as you need to behave yourself. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I don't want people telling me what to do. Yeah, see, it loses all the depth of color in this lighting, and there's all kinds of shades in here that aren't being picked up until you put it in natural light. But no, I did not use a wet palette. It's wet enough. It's wet enough for sure. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And this is a shitty model. I mean, the Zimmer actually turned out really well. But I think the secret is because I used the base color and then I think this is the secret. I think the Agrax Earthshade wash that I got it from somebody else for sure. Their idea, and I'm pretty happy with it. But no, I don't, if I'm doing anything dry brushy, I'm not using a wet palette. I'm only doing it here for I'm only doing it here when I'm trying to force the shadows, adding some highlights, but the dry brush and wet palette don't combine. They're counterproductive. Okay. Let's see what these two guys look like. To see if I want to do anything else to them, because less is more sometimes. I may just leave them alone. You know, obviously they're going to be sealed, and then they're going to end up getting dry brushed, and this jack that's a little bitch will be glued again. I'm going to epoxy that at a later day. I can always do that afterwards. Where is the... All right, we're going to have to manufacture something there for the... Well, this has the antenna down. I don't want the antenna down. I want it up. What time is it? 10:30? Yeah, it's probably time to stop. I'm pretty happy with how it is so far. Let me get farther away from it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks good at a distance. In about 3 feet, it looks pretty freaking good. Now, let me compare to how the armored car looks finished color-wise, and I bet they're going to be equivalent. Yep. They're like the same tone. Yep. Let me see if I can get you guys to see what I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys are going to get the full color range on your thing, but I'm real happy with that. Now, we do need to paint, you know, like the little wooden shovel and shit like that. But this tank here, dude, you can't tell that that has a flat hatch. I would bet somebody's life that's a two-piece hatch. All trickery. No. All trickery. It's all a sham. Got to get it going. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Excellent. Yeah, I love the Panzer Gray too. How did that look, by the way, in that video? Could you even tell from that angle? Yeah, see, it looks, the screen, it doesn't, that's not what I see. That looks crappy. Light is such a weird thing, you know? But so here's the other one. I did the same method, except I did one thing different. Okay? This is before I did this method. And what I did differently was I painted the whole thing in this color, in Panzer Gray. I didn't dry brush Panzer Gray on top of black, leaving black lining. And I think it's a pretty significant difference. That is, it's got some dirt dry brushed up on it. So I'm probably going to spray paint this thing black and start over with it. It's luckily a raffle model that doesn't have a whole lot of detail to be covered, but you know, and I did find all the I did find the Panzer II gun barrel and everything, the one I was missing. I did find that. So now here's interesting. I found out this is a C, and apparently this one is too, even though they have a different. This has a two-piece hatch, and this one has a one-piece hatch. But the thing I was really worried about was having this flat hatch. And man, I'm telling you, I mean, I can tell that it's flat when I'm like an inch from it. But over here at 2 and 3 feet, I used up one of my miracles on it. I hope I don't go to regret it. Okay. The only bad thing about these two Panzer IIIs is they're just something I'm not very excited about because I don't want them in 37 millimeter. I'm not doing France. So the 231 looks brighter. It isn't though. It's just because of the lighting here that's weird. If I took them outside, you'd be able to tell the difference. So yeah, it actually looks. It actually look really good. But I think the secret is adding a little bit extra blue. But anyhow, we're gonna call it a night. Man, I'm really happy with that hat, with the top hatches. Passes the 3 feet rule. No, that doesn't apply to me. I'm too anal for that. It's got to look as good as other stuff that I like. That's my rule. All right. Okay, until next time, guys. Thanks for coming by, and